Every couple months since I've started this career break, I try to take a moment to pause and just reflect. Reflect on where I'm at, and not just physically, just mentally. This whole career break has been about travel, experiences, but it's also been about growth and growing deeper as a person. So as we start to go into this fourth quarter of being on a career break, traveling for 8 to 9 months straight at this point, I was really pondering on what has been the lesson that I've learned most recently. And I believe the best way to sum it up is this has been a season of learning to let go. And I think that can sound overly simple because for me it's been a big growth opportunity. I am somebody who makes order and sense out of the world by having systems, by having processes, by planning things out. I've never really been a person to just go out on a whim. Everything I've done and have succeeded at has been due to careful planning and thoughtful execution. And so this whole concept of letting go, not over planning, and really just being present has been really interesting for me. And the concept of letting go has really manifested in a few ways. The first way I would say is that I've really tried to let go of having expectations. I think one of the easiest way to be disappointed in life is by having expectations that aren't met. And often they are expectations that I have imposed unfairly, perhaps, based on how I think a scenario, a place should be. And so as we've been traveling, what I've tried to do is just let go of expectations, to not build up some sort of scenario in my mind, because when I do that, then that's often when I get to a place and I feel like, well, this isn't what I thought it would be, and it can perhaps result in a less than favorable experience. Whereas if you're really able to just be open-minded, to not make any assumptions about a location, the people there, what to see, what to do, then you really open yourself up to other possibilities. And often it's the simplest, sweetest little things that can leave a lasting impression. The second thing I've really let go of is planning. And this has come about quite naturally the more that we have traveled. Initially, when we set out on this year, when we were planning for this year, we thought that it would look like visiting 7 to 9 places and really just having one base and staying there for a month at a time. And we had that idea and that plan really as a compromise. I was the one that wanted to take off and see the world. Jimmy was open to it. He's always very supportive of my dreams, but it's not his dream. It's not something he was particularly seeking out. And one of the things we really talked about was how he tends to thrive when he's able to have a routine. So we felt like the best way to go about this year was still to travel, to see things, but to have a home base so that we are able to really immerse ourselves in a location, and so that Jimmy's able to have a bit more of a routine so that he can, be his most productive and happiest self as well. That changed, however. We did go into the year with that plan, and we did execute originally. We based ourselves in Germany for a year, in the UK for a while. Our very first place when we made the jump over to Southeast Asia, we stayed in Chiang Mai for a month, in the south for two weeks in Thailand. But what we found is that if we were able to be a bit more open-minded and a bit more flexible, then it could lead us to places that we didn't even really realize or have on our radar. And it's been great because we've been able to jump around based on the weather, based on suggestions that we've heard from others, whereas if we would have gone ahead and planned out all of our stay from the very beginning, then we would have missed out on a huge chunk of our trip. So I'm glad we were able to kind of let that planning element go. It does add a little bit more stress sometimes because at this point we're moving every 3 to 4 days, which has its cons as well. Pros and cons. Pros, you get to see more. Cons is it can be a bit more tiring after a while, but I'm still really glad that we were both able to grow in that way, to let go of the massive planning, and we've gotten to the point where we're just booking our accommodation out maybe 2 or 3 days in advance. But you know, it's not just about the actual travel logistics where I've had to personally let go. I created a video rather early on about how I planned my year out for my career break, because I felt like if I was going to take this time, which is a huge investment in myself, then I needed to have a plan and I needed to execute on the plan. And part of that was that I felt like I needed to have whatever it is I wanted to do next figured out, and that I needed to start doing that this year. And the truth is that that was unfair to put that expectation on myself, and it was unrealistic and, more importantly, unnecessary. I put that demand on myself because I am somebody who thrives when I have goals or something to work towards, and I feel guilty when I don't have that in my life. And so at this point in our travels, I felt like I needed to have everything figured out. I needed to either have started a business or I need to start searching for jobs again. And after a lot of wonderful support from my husband, from friends, I've really been able to let go of that. And that has given me the ability to be more present, to enjoy this experience, this beautiful place that I'm in right now, and realize that, you know what, I don't have to have everything figured out. I have plenty of time, and I feel like things will flow better. The right thing will come my way if I'm just able to let go, be more present, and be more open. And so I suppose with this time, I've just realized, look, it's okay to be somebody who's a planner, who likes to get things done. That's wonderful. But you can also perhaps gift yourself the opportunity to let go of your expectations, to let go of your plans, and also feel and seek out what is right for you and what your next step might be, because it might not be what you think.